Contents. Preface. Unit 1. The Things We Carry. Experience, Culture, and Language. Unit 1. Introduction. Chapter 1. The Digital World. Building on what you already know to respond critically. Introduction. 1.1. Reading to understand and respond. 1.2. Social Media Trailblazer. Selena Gomez. 1.3. Glance at Critical Response. Rhetoric in Critical Thinking. 1.4. Annotated Student Sample. Social Media Post and Responses on Voter Suppression. 1.5. Writing Process. Thinking Critically About a Text. 1.6. Evaluation. Intention versus Execution. 1.7. Spotlight on Academia. 1.8. Portfolio. Tracing Writing Development. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 2. Language, Identity, and Culture. Exploring, Employing, Embracing. Introduction. 2.1. Seeds of Self. 2.2. Identity Trailblazer. Kathy Park Hong. 2.3. Glance at the Issues. Oppression and Reclamation. 2.4. Annotated Sample Reading from the Souls of Black Folk by W.E.B. Du Bois. 2.5. Writing Process. Thinking critically about how identity is constructed through writing. 2.6. Evaluation. Anti-racism and inclusivity. 2.7. Spotlight on Variations of English. 2.8. Portfolio. Decolonizing Self. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 3. Literacy Narrative. Building Bridges, Bridging Gaps. Introduction. 3.1. Identity and Expression. 3.2. Literacy Narrative Trailblazer. Tara Westover. 3.3. Glance at Genre. The Literacy Narrative. 3.4. Annotated Sample Reading. From Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass by Frederick Douglass. 3.5. Writing Process. Tracing the Beginnings of Literacy. 3.6. Editing Focus. Sentence Structure. 3.7. Evaluation. Self-evaluating. 3.8. Spotlight on the Digital Archive of Literacy Narratives, DALN. 3.9. Portfolio. A Literacy Artifact. Further reading. Works cited. Works consulted. Unit 2. Bridging the Divide Between Personal Identity and Academia. Unit 2. Introduction. Chapter 4. Memoir or Personal Narrative. Learning Lessons from the Personal. Introduction. 4.1. Exploring the Past to Understand the Present. 4.2. Memoir Trailblazer. Ta-Nehisi Coates. 4.3. Glance at Genre. Conflict, Detail, and Revelation. 4.4. Annotated Sample Reading. From Life on the Mississippi by Mark Twain. 4.5. Writing Process. Making the Personal Public. 4.6. Editing Focus. More on Characterization and Point of View. 4.7. Evaluation. Structure and Organization. 4.8. Spotlight on Multilingual Writers. 4.9. Portfolio. Filtered Memories. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 5. Profile. Telling a Rich and Compelling Story. Introduction. 5.1. Profiles as Inspiration. 5.2. Profile Trailblazer. Veronica Chambers. 5.3. Glance at Genre. Subject, Angle, Background, and Description. 5.4. Annotated Sample Reading. Remembering John Lewis by Carla D. Hayden. 5.5. Writing Process. Focusing on the angle of your subject. 5.6. Editing Focus. Verb Tense Consistency. 5.7. Evaluation. Text as Personal Introduction. 5.8. Spotlight on Profiling a Cultural Artifact. 5.9. Portfolio. Subject as a Reflection of Self. Works cited. Chapter 6. Proposal. Writing about Problems and Solutions. Introduction. 6.1. Proposing Change. Thinking Critically About Problems and Solutions. 6.2. Proposal Trailblazer. Atul Gawande. 6.3. Glance at Genre. Features of Proposals. 6.4. Annotated Student Sample. Slowing Climate Change by Sean Krakowski. 6.5. Writing process. Creating a proposal. 6.6. Editing focus. Subject-verb agreement. 6.7. Evaluation. Conventions, clarity, and coherence. 6.8. Spotlight on technical writing as a career. 6.9. Portfolio. Reflecting on problems and solutions. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 7. Evaluation or review. Would you recommend it? Introduction. 7.1. Thumbs up or down? 7.2. Review Trailblazer. Machiko Kakutani. 7.3. Glance at genre. Criteria, evidence, evaluation. 7.4. Annotated student sample. Black representation in film by Kalia Marshall. 7.5. Writing process. Thinking critically about entertainment. 7.6. Editing focus. Quotations. 7.7. Evaluation. Effect on audience. 7.8. Spotlight on language and culture. 7.9. Portfolio. What the arts say about you. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 8. Analytical report. Writing from facts. Introduction. 8.1. Information and critical thinking. 8.2. Analytical report Trailblazer. Barbara Ehrenreich. 8.3. Glance at genre. Informal and formal analytical reports. 8.4. Annotated student sample. U.S. response to COVID-19 by Trevor Garcia. 8.5. Writing process. Creating an analytical report. 8.6. Editing focus. Commas with non-essential and essential information. 8.7. Evaluation. Reviewing the final draft. 8.8. Spotlight on discipline-specific and technical language. 8.9. Portfolio. Evidence and objectivity. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 9. Rhetorical analysis. Interpreting the art of rhetoric. Introduction. 9.1. Breaking the whole into its parts. 9.2. Rhetorical analysis Trailblazer. Jamil Smith. 9.3. Glance at genre. Rhetorical strategies. 9.4. Annotated student sample. Rhetorical analysis. Evicted by Matthew Desmond by Eliana Evans. 9.5. Writing process. Thinking critically about rhetoric. 9.6. Editing focus. Mixed sentence constructions. 9.7. Evaluation. Rhetorical analysis. 9.8. Spotlight on business and law. 9.9. Portfolio. How thinking critically about rhetoric affects intellectual growth. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 10. Position argument. Practicing the art of rhetoric. Introduction. 10.1. Making a case. Defining a position argument. 10.2. Position argument Trailblazer. Charles Blow. 10.3. Glance at genre. Thesis, reasoning, and evidence. 10.4. Annotated sample reading. Remarks at the University of Michigan by Lyndon B. Johnson. 10.5. Writing process. Creating a position argument. 10.6. Editing focus. Paragraphs and transitions. 10.7. Evaluation. Varied appeals. 10.8. Spotlight on citation. 10.9. Portfolio. Growth in the development of argument. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 11. Reasoning strategies. Improving critical thinking. Introduction. 11.1. Developing your sense of logic. 11.2. Reasoning Trailblazer. Paul D. N. Hebert. 11.3. Glance at genre. Reasoning strategies and signal words. 11.4. Annotated sample reading. From Book 7 of the Republic by Plato. 11.5. Writing process. Reasoning supported by evidence. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 12. Argumentative research. Enhancing the art of rhetoric with evidence. Introduction. 12.1. Introducing research and research evidence. 12.2. Argumentative research Trailblazer. Samin Nosrat. 12.3. Glance at genre. Introducing research as evidence. 12.4. Annotated student sample. Healthy diets from sustainable sources can save the earth by Lily Tran. 12.5. Writing process. Integrating research. 12.6. Editing focus. Integrating sources and quotations. 12.7. Evaluation. Effectiveness of research paper. 12.8. Spotlight on bias in language and research. 12.9. Portfolio. Why facts matter in research argumentation. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 13. Research process. Accessing and recording information. Introduction. 13.1. The research process. Where to look for existing sources. 13.2. The research process. How to create sources. 13.3. Glance at the research process. Key skills. 13.4. Annotated student sample. Research log. 13.5. Research process. Making notes, synthesizing information, and keeping a research log. 13.6. Spotlight on ethical research. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 14. Annotated bibliography. Gathering, evaluating, and documenting sources. Introduction. 14.1. Compiling sources for an annotated bibliography. 14.2. Glance at form, citation style, purpose, and formatting. 14.3. Annotated student sample. Healthy diets from sustainable sources can save the earth by Lily Tran. 14.4. Writing process. Informing and analyzing. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 15. Case study profile. What one person says about all. Introduction. 15.1. Tracing a broad issue in the individual. 15.2. Case study trailblazer. Villayanur S. Ramachandran. 15.3. Glance at genre. Observation, description, and analysis. 15.4. Annotated sample reading. Case study on Louis Victor Tan Laborn. 15.5. Writing process. Thinking critically about how people and language interact. 15.6. Editing focus. Words often confused. 15.7. Evaluation. Presentation and analysis of case study. 15.8. Spotlight on applied linguistics. 15.9. Portfolio. Your own uses of language. Further reading. Works cited. Unit 3. Navigating rhetoric in real life. Unit 3. Introduction. Chapter 16. Print or textual analysis. What you read. Introduction. 16.1. An author's choices. What text says and how it says it. 16.2. Textual analysis trailblazer. Bellhooks. 16.3. Glance at genre. Print or textual analysis. 16.4. Annotated student sample. Artists at Work by Gwyn Garrison. 16.5. Writing process. Thinking critically about text. 16.6. Editing focus. Literary works live in the present. 16.7. Evaluation. Self-directed assessment. 16.8. Spotlight on humanities. 16.9. Portfolio. The academic and the personal. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 17. Image analysis. What you see. Introduction. 17.1. Reading images. 17.2. Image trailblazer. Sarah Ludi. 17.3. Glance at genre. Relationship between image and rhetoric. 17.4. Annotated student sample. Hints of the Homoerotic by Leo Davis. 17.5. Writing process. Thinking critically and writing persuasively about images. 17.6. Editing focus. Descriptive diction. 17.7. Evaluation. Relationship between analysis and image. 17.8. Spotlight on video and film. 17.9. Portfolio. Interplay between text and image. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 18. Multimodal and online writing. Creative interaction between text and image. Introduction. 18.1. Mixing genres and modes. 18.2. Multimodal trailblazer. Torika Balatagici. 18.3. Glance at genre. Genre, audience, purpose, organization. 18.4. Annotated sample reading. Celebrating a Win-Win by Alexandra Dopolito Dunn, 18.5. Writing process. Create a multimodal advocacy project, 18.6. Evaluation. Transitions, 18.7. Spotlight on technology, 18.8. Portfolio. Multimodalism. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 19. Scripting for the Public Forum. Writing to Speak. Introduction. 19.1. Writing, Speaking, and Activism. 19.2. Podcast Trailblazer. Alice Wong. 19.3. Glance at Genre. Language Performance and Visuals. 19.4. Annotated Student Sample. Are New Regulations Discriminatory? By Zain A. Kumar. 19.5. Writing Process. Writing to Speak. 19.6. Evaluation. Bridging Writing and Speaking. 19.7. Spotlight on Delivery, Public Speaking. 19.8. Portfolio. Everyday Rhetoric, Rhetoric Every Day. Further reading. Works cited. Chapter 20. Portfolio Reflection. Your Growth as a Writer. Introduction. 20.1. Thinking Critically About Your Semester. 20.2. Reflection Trailblazer. Sandra Cisneros. 20.3. Glance at Genre. Purpose and Structure. 20.4. Annotated Sample Reading. Don't Expect Congrats by Dale Trumbore. 20.5. Writing Process. Looking Back, Looking Forward. 20.6. Editing Focus. Pronouns. 20.7. Evaluation. Evaluating Self-Reflection. 20.8. Spotlight on Pronouns in Context. Further reading. Works cited. Handbook. Index.